Hi folks, how are we doing today? Hope you're all okay. And we've got another re-edited film from the archives, which was put out years and years ago. I think possibly 2013 we did this hike, and it was up on YouTube for a while before being removed. So I've gone back and re-edited it. And this is from, I think I had the last time I was in this area, I'd called it the best view I'd ever seen it, and it really is. It's Glen Affric. And Glen Affric is just absolutely fantastic. The views that I've seen up there it's still up there with some of the best views I've seen. And I don't think I captured it quite as well. The photos weren't as good as actually being there and seeing it with your own two eyes. You know, you've got the lovely old Caledonian pine forest and the mountains in the background and the big sweeping valley and Munros and yada yada yada, lochs, forests, mountains. Beautiful. Anyway. Today's video we were doing, I think, 3 Munros. It was 3 Munros, way up Glen Affric, and I think apart from when we wild camped and went round the Fisherfield 6, this trip is probably one of the most tired I've been and knackered. It was day 2 of a 3-day trip. The first day we'd been just a bit further south in Torridon, or nearer Torridon, I think maybe around about Achnacheilach and Furthall and these sort of hills. And the second day was this big day. I mean, it was a big day. I mean, there was 3 Munros, but it was one hell of a ride in. I don't know how many kilometres in, maybe 20 kilometres in, I can't remember. But we had to cycle a long way to get to the base of the hills, and then to make it even harder, there'd been overnight snow. It was late. We were into May, so it's not unusual to get snowfall, especially on these high mountains. You can get snow at any time of the year in Scotland, but certainly May you often get a wee sting in the tail from winter. And there was a fair bit of snow up there, and once we got up to a certain height we found ourselves trudging through the snow, and then even once we came back down we had a big mammoth cycle out, and we had quite a big day the next day. The next day we went up a glen to Strathfarrar and did the Munros there, and that was the fateful trip where my brother's car broke down at the head of the private glen, which was, yeah, I think we maybe talked about that in one of my recent videos during lockdown, but that was an experience, and he didn't get home till about 4 in the morning because I had to get a pickup truck. It was his timing belt had gone. Anyway, we digress. Let's cut to us in the car park at the head of the road at Glen Affric, getting ready and kitted out for a mammoth cycle into the snowy mountains. Hope you enjoy this. Glen Affric car park. What time is it? 8 o'clock-ish on the 19th of May. As you can see, we've got our bikes ready to go, and we're going to go and try and go up these Munros over there somewhere. Yeah, we'll see how we go. There's lots of snow. So off we set on our bikes towards these Munros, this group of 3 Munros up Glen Affric. And the track up the side of the lochs in Glen Affric is pretty good. It's good to take your bike up here. You'll certainly save a lot of time, and there's no way we would have managed this round in a day if we didn't have these bikes. The track can be a bit rough in places, and there's a few burn crossings to negotiate, as you can see, but yeah, I'd recommend the use of a bike for sure if you've got a mountain bike to come up here. And it's a lovely, lovely glen, and this bike ride it's not 20 kilometres, it's nearer 13 or 14 kilometres into the bothy or youth hostel where we were planning to start the hike up the hills. We eventually got to the point where we were leaving the bikes and starting the hike up the hills. And even without this big long cycle in, it's a fair hike round these three Munros, and you can see the intended route here on the map that I've drawn, going up the smallest Munro first before heading on to the other two. Before long we were on the summit of Socach, which at 921 metres was the smallest of the three, and we soon headed off and we crossed the quarry to gain the ridge up to the second Munro, which was Mullach and Dheiragain, which is a bit higher at 982 metres. And gaining height, there was a bit more snow on the ground and the snow showers started to filter in, but we were trudging on, trying to get to the top. This is us on the summit of the outlying Munro, Mullach somehow or another. Come up over and Socach over there, drop down into the quarry over this peak here, and this is going to be our final peak on our way home over here. It's 2 o'clock now, we're hoping to get up into that peak by 4, then back down to the bikes, hopefully back along the road so we can get back to the pub before something to eat, before it shuts. As you can see, there's lots of snow, we've been wading through it, so it's going to be a tough ask. At this point a few snow showers start to come out, and yeah, we really are in the middle of nowhere. These are some of the most remote Munros in Scotland, and they're really quite difficult to get to. A lot of people will take an overnight stay to get up them, but us being us, we thought we'd bash them off in a day, and we were soon heading up to the highest peak through deeper and deeper snow. And summits in cloud again, typical. So the last peak of the day, Ceathreamhnan, was the highest of the three, and it sits at 1,151 metres, making it, I think it's the 22nd highest Munro. So it's a pretty prized peak amongst Munro baggers, being so high and so remote. And I tell you what, on the day we went up, as you can see, the snow was pretty thick, and it was all that fresh stuff, which is does make it a bit more energy sapping. Anyway, we were certainly glad when we got to the summit, but there was still a long way to go to get back down to the cars. But yeah, pleased to get here would be an understatement. Having stocked up on some more jelly babies on the summit, it was soon time to get down. We didn't have too much spare time given the amount of distance we were covering, and we were soon heading down the eastern ridge of the highest top and getting down below the snow line. And it wasn't too long before we got to the point where we had the bikes, and then it was time for that. It's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, that long cycle back down Glen Affric. Back on the bikes, the day wasn't over yet. We still had that 13 kilometres to cycle, which wasn't all downhill, by the way. Anyway, we'd covered some serious ground. In total it's about 46 kilometres, and we'd ascended 1,570 metres in total. So it's a long day, but we were certainly glad to have bagged these Munros by the end of it. A fantastic adventure in Glen Affric.